We are on the final leg of the journey here. Vienna. I need some soup. I do need some warm liquids, I think. But yes, this is the final leg. So at this point, I had spent 3 nights in Munich and 3 nights in Venice. And I was about to spend 3 nights in Vienna. But first I had to actually take a train. And the train went from Venice along the coast to Udine, and then it went to Valais, and then it went up to, it's not on the map, but it's, where is it? It's north of Graz, up here, and then over to Wiener Neustadt, and then ultimately to Vienna. So it kind of scooched up the southern side of Austria. And it was gorgeous. This part of the trip, the train was fantastic. I had first class seats just like I had for the other journey, but it was a newer, I nearly said plane, it was a newer train, and the seating was so much more comfortable. The service was impeccable. It was just a fabulous experience. And it was a longer train too, because the Munich to Venice was about 7 hours, and the Venice to Vienna was actually 8 hours, but it didn't feel like it. I actually arrived in Vienna relaxed, recharged, versus when I arrived in Venice, I was exhausted and miserable. So it's a very different experience. So let's get into it. I'll share with you some of these pictures. I'm just going to warn you again, like, it's a train picture, okay? So, you know, there'll be some reflections, but actually these pictures turned out actually a hell of a lot better. So I'll walk you through this, and then we'll get to Vienna. So yeah, Railjet is the name of this train, and you can see here that it actually was called the Spirit of Avencia, which obviously is Venice. So this Railjet, it was just a awesome experience. I really thoroughly enjoyed this train. Yeah, the toilet. Look at this toilet. This freaking toilet was clean, and it was big, and it was just, I just love it. Everything about this toilet was awesome. Train toilets are usually half this size, and they're usually just disgusting. But this one was very nice. And yes, I did actually have a cappuccino with a heart, and I'll be honest with you, this was one of the best cappuccinos I had on my entire trip. And this was on a freaking train. And look, he put a heart in it. I mean, my God, this guy was so... It was first class service, so we had like a garçon, I guess you would call it, like who walked to each of us and said, "What would you like?" And, you know, kind of brought us to brought the food to our table or whatever. So yeah, I had a cappuccino. This was the general seating for first class, so it's basically 2 and then 1. And then they had like a sign up here that basically showed which each of the stops are and arrival times and all that. So it's just a much nicer train. And the seating was super comfy too. And here we are. We're in Italy, and we're heading east now. Beautiful day. Obviously the sky is nice and blue and cloudy, and here we're going through some, you know, growth of something. I don't know what this is. Grapes maybe? I have no idea. But it was just a lot of farmland in Italy, and that's kind of what I experienced on the other leg when I came from Austria to Italy down to Venice. It was just a lot of farmland. Yeah. Now you can still see some reflection, and that's just the nature of, you know, taking pictures against a glass reflective surface, right? But just, Italy was just farming. Farm, farm, farm. So I'll kind of scooch through here a bit. You'll notice a stark difference when we hit Austria. You notice this is relatively flat over here. But it was just a gorgeous day to be traveling by train. I mean, there's no reflection in this one. I mean, it's a little blurry because we're going so fast. We were doing 160 kilometers an hour. Now we're getting close to seeing some more mountainy stuff. Lots of train tracks through here. And you can see, like, just, you know, there's people living here, right? A reflection of Gibbs? I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure. So here we have an Italian and an English sign. But, yeah, I mean, there's definitely some mountains going on over there. Just starting to get into that more hilly area. Like, we're getting closer to the Austrian border. And I'm thinking, like, who lives in this house? I mean, I want to live there. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Yeah, we're going to get there. We're going to totally get there. But there was, I mean, maybe it was just, like, I don't know. Everything about this whole experience, this train was, it was unforgettable. The scenery was just so much more interesting. The service was incredible. And the train was just nice and new and clean. But yeah, I took 150 photos here, so clearly I know I had some good times here. I like how they've got birds on the glass so that they, I guess, don't fly into the glass. But yeah, there's like a little village, a little Italian village. I mean, I'd like to just spend a night here if I could, you know? And we are real close to the mountains. Like, there's tunnels, too, that obviously I'm not showing the tunnels, but it was the same on the other leg, too. We went through a lot of tunnels. The weather was great. Yeah. The gas station over there. Another little villagey thing. And like the clouds are, I'm not sure if that's clouds. Like they're just lingering there in the mountains. Yeah. So, I mean, this is it. Like this is just kind of like the experience, right? Of taking these long trains. It's peaceful, yeah. I definitely enjoyed the ride. I listened to music, and I had, and this leg of the train had free internet too. So I had like free internet, you know, so like I had, you know, Spotify running, I had, you know, whatever. I had things running here with the internet. But it was just gorgeous. Oh, this is my beverage. So I figured I should, you know, partake, I guess, in a cold beverage. Yeah. So you can see that I had, it was like a table, right? And then, so I was in the single seats, right? So 2 seats. And then there was the doubles was there and they had a table too. This was, I thought, interesting how like this train station had, look at all the bikes here. Like that was just crazy. They had like double-decker parking of bikes. And now we're starting to get into Austria. I can tell by the rollingness of it. So this is Austria. And it's just everything about this. Question, did you drink more beer or water? I would say I had more water. I definitely had more beer than I have had in months. I don't drink beer anymore, right? But I definitely had a few beers when I was on this trip. But I had more water than anything. It's Austria, not Australia. Yeah, there was actually a store in Austria that their whole gag was there's no kangaroos in Austria. And they had yellow t-shirts that said no kangaroos in Austria. And the bags they would give you when you bought something said no kangaroos in Austria. So they were having fun with that. But yeah, Austria, this part of Austria was just incredible. Like, I mean, I want to live here. Look at this. Yeah, rolling hills. You see how in Italy it was more flat? But in Austria, you got rolling hills here. You would have bought one of those t-shirts? I never even thought about it, to be honest. I thought it was a cute gag, though, because, I mean, that's kind of the trope, right? That Austria has a special office for folks that have booked trips to Australia and landed in Austria. So, yeah, they're, you know, I think we're about halfway on the trip at this point. And I'm starting to get super excited about just everything I see. You know, I actually bought food at the supermarket and I brought it on the train with me, which is the same thing I did when I took the first leg. But I shouldn't have. Actually, the food on this particular train was incredible. The other train was awful, so I'm glad I brought my own food, but this one I did not need to bring my own food. I also I'd love to live there. It's very fairy tale-y, yeah. Like, look at this. Look at these houses here. It is, like, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, this was, it was a great way to go from Venice to transition to Vienna, is to go through this space and just see the countryside, because I'd been spending 3 nights in, like, you know, water, basically a bunch of islands crammed on a tiny little island. And then to see this open space like this, it was just refreshing. And the view, like, look at this view here. So yeah, I took a lot of pictures on this particular leg. And they turned out a lot better. You see there's not as much reflection in the glass here too. I brought a lot of food onto the train, first class with store-bought food. Yeah, I mean, I brought food as well. I brought, well, basically sandwiches, I guess, and chocolate bars. Because, I mean, this particular trip was 8 hours, right? Like, you just can't go without food for 8 hours. Starting to book those plane tickets. You're going to spend 3 days on the train? There you go. Yeah, so this is, the company is OBB, and this is a rail jet, okay? So this is a special long-haul train, not a regional train, not like a, you know, milk run train. This is designed for, like, these big, long trips. And what I will take next time is I'm going to take what's known as a night jet. And it's owned by the same company, and they're the overnight trains where you get your own sleeping bunk. That's what I would definitely do next time. Yeah. So, yeah, Vienna, Austria, breathtaking. Absolutely stunning. I was getting so excited as I'm getting closer and closer, and I'm seeing this, like, rolling by, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. Can it get any better? Yep. So yeah, they're so you'll see some photos with, like, you know, every like 10 feet I was taking a photograph. I would love to stay in a train overnight. Yeah, JG, it's something I've always wanted. Oh, I did it once, actually. I took a train from Montreal to Halifax overnight. But yeah, I would definitely do it again. So Unsmark is... Where is Unsmark? Let me see if I can find that on the map-a-rooney here. Unsmark. Unsmark is... If I look on my map here... Unsmark is right about dead center on the map. It's basically west of Graz. So Graz, just to the west of that, is Unsmark. So we're basically about halfway. So Venice to Unsmark, and then we got to go through Graz and then up to Vienna. Halfway. I was overjoyed on this train for sure, Kat. And I had such a miserable time on the other train. I kind of lost a little bit of hope, you know? And within like 20 minutes on this train, I was in love again with the idea of trains. And it was like there were some red flags with the other train, but I kind of just ignored them. I'm like, ah, it can't be what I think it is. But knowing what I know now, I gotta trust my instincts. So yeah, Austria, goddamn gorgeous. Yeah, I think the sun's starting to set here. When it starts to get dark, the pictures on the train don't really make much difference. So this was what I was saying. We were basically Unsmark is where my mouse is right now. So this picture was taken right at the border. Or this map was taken at the border at 12:30. I think we're running out of train. Yeah. So here are all the tracks here, or all the stops. So there's Unsmark is at 3 o'clock. This was taken at 12:47. So we would have had, yeah. Oh, well, actually, we would have 3 hours to go at that point when we were at Unsmark. Oh, here we go. This is at Unsmark right here. So I did take that snap. So we're at Unsmark right at that moment. And this is how far away I was from the Vienna train station. 3-minute walk. Like, the location of this hotel was absolutely fantastic. And the train station was wonderful. So, like, this whole part of the trip, the train station and the location of the hotel, was very enjoyable. But I'll talk to you a bit about the hotel when I get there. I had some issues with this hotel. And nothing to do with its location, that's for sure. But yeah, this is that is the railjet trip that I took through, Italy and then through Austria. It was it definitely brought the romance in trains back into my heart, because I was definitely not happy about the Munich to Venice ride. Spill the tea. Yeah, I guess so. I haven't been on that previous train. What was it? So this train here, the Munich to Venice, was the EC85. EC is kind of like the brand of it, and then this is the railjet. The EC is like an older train. And it definitely, the seats were terrible, the service was awful, the train was just old and dirty and stuffy. This train here, the railjet, everything that was bad with the EC was awesome with the railjet. So yeah, I would definitely stay away from ECs if you can. They're definitely older. They're older. That's all I can really say. They're old. Older trains. Okay, Vienna. Holy cow, are we gonna do it? We're 4 hours into our adventures, and we still gotta go through frickin' Vienna. And I went to 2 museums in Vienna, so hold on tight, everybody. So this is me arriving in Vienna. This is obviously the same train, and this is the car I was on. I was on car 27. And this is the train station. It looks like a frickin' mall. I went in and out of this train station several times because I had to get on the subway quite a lot. But the train station is like it was the best of all 3 train stations. It was like a mall. This is the view from the outside. And this is the view of the opposite way. So this was me facing the train station. And then this is me facing away from it. And my hotel is right here. I could see my hotel from this doorstep of the train station, which was great. Because I came here to catch all sorts of public transit, right? And that's the hotel there, Moons. And you would think that, ooh, cool, it's got like round windows. That's different. It is. It's very different. It's very chic. And it has a rooftop bar, which was on paper great. Round windows, I've never seen it. And it has like little seating areas that you can sit in it. And they're like, I don't know, a couple feet wide, so you can definitely lay in it. You can lay in it, which I did actually. This is up close and personal. This is the room. And that's it. So this is kind of where, for me, it started to go a little sideways. First of all, this is it. This is the only place to sit. There was no other, like, surface to park your ass other than this curved window, which, as a novelty, wore off real fast. Okay, because I don't know if anyone has sat in a curved surface, but there's a reason why most of our chairs are flat, right? So I sat in here most nights just to kind of, you know, look out the window or whatever, but it was very basic. The way I look at it is a millennial designed a hotel for Zoomers. That's the way I would describe it. It was like eco-friendly to the point of it being dumb, and it was minimalistic to the point of it being just unfunctional. But at the end of the day, like, it was clean, but even like the bathroom was just kind of a joke. Like, this is it. This was all you got, right? Like, this is the bathroom. I can barely even fit in it. Obviously there's a shower and there was a sink and a toilet. And see these freaking soap dispensers right here? Like, one was shampoo and one was body wash. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing, but oh yeah, no, it was glass. There is no, like, curtain per se. It's just clear glass, see-through glass. But these stupid little pumps, they would, like, squirt out, like, microscopic amounts of, you know, the soap. So you would, like, hammer on that goddamn pump to, like, you know, you need enough soap to lather your body, right? You got some curves. You need some soap to get in those curves. And I swear to God, my showers would take twice as long because of these stupid frickin' pumps. Yeah, I had to work my wrist. Yeah. But it was, like, eco-friendly, right? Because you don't need all that soap, because soap's bad for the environment. And it was like, ugh. Yeah. The pumps that were kind of out by the sink were a little bit better, but these ones were absolutely ridiculous. Like, just terrible. The shower head was above. It was one of those rain shower things. You know what I mean? Like the square one where it just kind of drops on your head. So this minimalistic kind of, like, eco-friendly to the point of it being a fault was a problem for me. This is my first dinner because I got there pretty late at night. And I went to a supermarket across the street and got some snacks and whatever. This was just leftovers from the train I didn't eat. But all this was bought at the supermarket. The fruit was quite kind of delicious. It looks like someone took it off. What do you mean by that? Took what off? But yeah, like the minimalistic, I guess, chicness of the hotel room, novelty wore off within 20 minutes. I was not impressed. And not having anywhere to, like, just park your ass other than your bed just didn't do it for me. Oh, the shower head. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, like, I don't have a problem with, like, in Munich, we had similar things. It was pumped liquid, which I had no problem with. Okay? But the pumps work. You know, like, they actually deliver the liquid when you hit the pump. These ones did not. It was just kind of awkward to take a shower and take, like, twice as long. But here was the view from the window. This was one way. So very, very metropolitan. Like, huge commercial buildings here. This is me eating my dinner with my chopsticks. I think I posted this picture. I watched this show, a few episodes, because I was going to the museum the next day and I wanted to, like, you know, get some homework done, so to speak. The entire room is just bra. You know what, Lizard? That's how I felt. I felt like I was in some nightmare conceived space for I have no idea who. So the order of my hotels is Vienna, Munich, Venice. Yeah, if, from least to best, I would definitely say that, Cat. Yeah. But yeah, so I had some delicious grapefruit and, you know, oranges and strawberries. This was good. Yeah, this image looks familiar. I know. I posted this one already. This was the view the other way. So this is towards the train station. Like, massive intersection here. I walked back and forth here, like, gotta be like 10, 12 times. Just because all the transit's over here, too. This is next morning. Some pretty, I think this was a university or a commercial building. I can't remember, but it was fairly modern. I was like, damn, that's a modern building. It's all glass, right? And then we get into Vienna. So Vienna has very sort of vibe to Munich in terms of its sort of building structure, but just more cars, I guess is the way I would describe it. And the kind of more modern buildings here as well. And we get to this palace. Okay, so this first place here, I had no idea what it was, but it looked green on the map, and I'm like, let's go. I want to go somewhere green. So definitely you won't try Capsule Hotel. Honestly, Kat, if I'd known, I think there's I'm aware of a Capsule Hotel and the general idea behind them, but I think there's more novelty there. There was no novelty in the Moons. Like, there was nothing that made it feel special. I don't know. I'm not sure how else to explain it. It was just it just felt like a boring Holiday Inn with no furniture. That's what it felt like to me. Normal hotels when you're over 30? Yeah, well, sure. I'm not staying at a hostel if that's what you mean. So anyways, this is just a green area I saw on the map. I'm like, oh, let's go check this out. And then I show up to these gates. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then poof, I open the gates. I'm like, holy crap! What is this place? Yeah, this is a building. And the whole place was just, I forget the name of it, but it's some, I think it was like the Baron of Vienna owned the place, or the richest dude who lived in Vienna owned this place or something. But yeah, so this was the gate, and then this is what was beyond the gate, right? Yeah, it is amazing. It was so good. Pemberley, maybe. So Moons is not worth the money. Yeah, no, it's not. Look, Moons is 5 out of 5 for location, 1 out of 5 for everything else. Okay, 1 out of 5 for the hotel space itself, I guess, hotel room. So yeah, this is a very nice thing. The Moon is cheap though. I mean, relatively cheap. I think it was like 200 Canadian or maybe more. I can't even remember. That's my future home. It's Sir Gibbs-a-Lot's palace. God, look at this building. I love like just the manicure. Oh, here we go. Manscaping. The manscaping of the grounds. Did you leave a review of the hotel? Not yet, Stephanie. I should, though. I should. They keep bugging me to do that. I haven't done it yet. But yeah, no, this place was crazy. I mean, this is just facing left and, like, incredible. So this was, like, my first hour in Vienna. This is what I walked myself into. This is approaching it. Palace, I guess. There's the Austrian flag at the top. This is around the back, so this is the back side of it. It had a cafe in there. I didn't actually go in it. And then behind the building proper was this freaking garden here. So, yeah, this place was massive. You can kind of see the mountains. There's a church there and other, places to explore, but this was the garden behind it. I went a little crazy in this garden. It looks so beautiful, I would cry. Manscaping is what you wanted to do when you saw that hotel. Yeah, exactly. So they had these cool statues, these lovely ladies here that were guarding the garden, I guess? No, I'm not defining manscaping because it's what you think it is. Okay? So yeah, we had these lovely ladies guarding the garden. But yeah, no, like this whole, I was just floored by the view here. And And this is all open to the public. You can see a bunch of people walking around. There was runners, all sorts of people running through here. I didn't see any bicycles. Yeah, they are kind of like Sphinx, I think. Yeah, there's like 4 legs, I guess. Lovely ladies. But yeah, there was a lot of people running through here too. And then just a closer shot of the background there. Part bird, part woman, part lion. And this is looking back towards the building itself. Very little hedges. There's bigger hedges down the way though. Can't really see it here because it kind of dips down, but there's bigger hedges. I'll show you. So yeah, this was just lovely. There's another view looking back and all the people. They had like a little waterfall-y thing and a little water thing in the middle. And then you can see it all drops down a good 10 feet. The little ones are cute, I agree. And then there's this other like garden area. I don't know what would have been over here, but it was all like sunk another 2 or 3 feet. Nothing was in it when I was there, obviously. And then here is a bigger hedge. So they had like a hedge maze here too. Yeah. So there's another view of that sort of sunken garden area. You fell there? Wait, what do you mean? You fell where? Which one? On the path? Like this path here? Gibbs, my heart can't take the beautiful landscape. I know. Oh, the pebbles. Oh, the pebbles. Okay. Yeah, you were here, right? Pink Paper, you were in Vienna, right? This one here. I mean, it was definitely a great way to start my experience in Vienna. And then this is another small building. What would this area called? Because it was like upper and then lower. I want to say Calvadir? I can't remember, but they're all like, they was all owned by the same person, so yeah, very gorgeous. Some lovely half-naked people. And now we're through it. So now we're through the other side. Calvadir, I want to say. Upper and lower Calvadir. So more transit, right? Upper and lower estates. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was, yeah. So yeah, this was, again, another example of a European city with little lamps between the buildings. And then lots of tram track. Just like Munich. One thing I did see a lot more of in Vienna was scooters. Like a lot of Vespas and scooters everywhere. Oh, there's Pink Paper's favorite thing. Some more cobbles. These ones were obviously well used. You can see that they're indented. Yeah. And can't remember what this was, but I thought it was a cool picture. This reminded me of UK because I remember this brand of hotel being quite popular in the UK. So very nice hotel. Everyone should take a ride. Yeah, for sure, on a scooter. Cobblestone, my poor luggage wheels. Yeah, but you know, you kind of had definitely buildings that were very ornate, I guess is the word of the day, with the different sort of structures and textures and all that. So I spent a good amount of time in this park here, and I couldn't get over the fact that, okay, so there's no bikes, fine. Dogs are good, great. I have no idea what's going on in this bottom left here. I think trees are bad or scary or they'll eat you. I'm not sure. But the trees seem to be frightening this person running away. And then there's like demon rats. Oh yeah, that's right. And Shadow Gibbs is over here too. Yeah, there we are. So something to do with the demon rats. Beware of falling branches? Is that what that is? But anyways, the demon rats are kind of scary too. So, but as long as the dogs are okay, we're good. Don't know about those demon rats though, exactly. Anyways, I got a kick out of that sign. One thing the park had, and this was just, it's kind of a bad shot of it, but they had these tiny little vehicles with like 3 wheels, and they served cappuccino and espressos and little sandwiches, and there was like 3 or 4 of them in the park, and it was such a cool little idea. And they were like very tiny, and there's like one person running the show, and I actually got an espresso at one of them. Yeah. It was like in the middle of the park. I'm like, oh my god, I'm totally getting that. I want one now. This was basically a canal that is splitting the park in half. It's very low tide. Searching for my tickets. And I thought it was interesting, all the big giant vases here, and there's actually quite a lot of graffiti here too. Now here's a good shot, close up of the graffiti, and it reminded me of my trips in Glasgow, our trip to Glasgow. Actually, I'm trying to think of the other big city in the UK, but where they actually had quite a lot of graffiti on the walls along the sea, or along the rivers, I guess. And we're still in the park here, and just another gorgeous ducky pic. We need all the duck pics we can get. And another good shot. Like this, I think, is one of my favorite pictures. I really love this picture. And it was just, it had that tranquility that I was looking for, you know? And this is in the city. Like, this is in the metropolitan of Vienna, is this park. And it's just very beautiful. It just provided, like, just pause to, like, soak it up, and then, like, relief of, like, oh, this is so nice. Another quack quack, exactly. So yeah, this is one of my favorite pictures I took of the whole trip. So yeah, we're still in the park, and there was, like, statues everywhere. I don't know who Bruckner is, but I think he's a musician, maybe? It's Vienna, right? It's all about the music. And then there's this, like, statue with clocks here, which was kind of like a community board or something, but it looked very old. But this is still the same park. Look at these trees here. And then there was this other kind of palace building here too. And if you back the other way, this is the same water that all those ducks were at. And this tree here kind of was interesting. I really like this tree. Like, and I'm like, so I take this picture, I'm like, damn, that tree's kind of weird. And then I'm like, wait, oh my god, look at this tree. So I was like, I like that I framed the building to kind of fit in here. Yeah, very nicely trimmed lawn, exactly. Very well landscaped. But this tree was kind of like such an interesting, I really like this tree. And there was some neat little round stones here that I thought were kind of cool. The tree is saying hi. And this statue, this lovely lady statue, I think I took like 4 pictures of her. But she was surrounded by, like, beautiful flowers. And I just thought it was such a nice, nice little area. Cobblestone hell. Right? Like, look at her. She's just surrounded by lovely flowers. I feel like this would be a nice place to just go and sit for an hour and just, like, soak it up, you know? So yeah, I really enjoy this space. And I think this is Strauss. So again, there was Viennese musician statues all over the place. This was one of them. Kind of a cool gold in the middle, and then, like, surrounded by stone. I thought that was kind of neat. And here is my cappuccino that I got at one of these little, I want to call them bike cafes. I don't know what else to call them, but lovely lady. She served me up this cappuccino, put a nice little heart on there, and the cappuccino was freaking awesome. It's super tasty. And outside the park is a big walking area here. So let's see if I can describe this here. So you can see bikes here, and you can see a walker here. Okay, so I love when the cities do this. So this whole area in the middle is all bikes only. And then this is people walking. So I'm here taking pics, and these guys are gonna run me down. They're gonna hit me if I don't get out of the way, you know? Yeah, this street lamp is really nice too. Yep, another heart with a cappuccino. So I spotted this bus. I'm like, I'm gonna get on you. I'm totally gonna get on you. So I'm like, I took that pic because I knew I was gonna get on the big bus here. And this is just lovely area to walk. Like if you lived in this neighborhood, you'd bike, you'd run, you'd walk, you would scooter, whatever, up and down here. It's great. So it was just more walking, right? Just kind of the whole thing of the trip was museums, music, walking, trains, exploring, eating, drinking, all that kind of good stuff. I think you're the only tourist that I know of would have lost weight. Yeah, I probably lost 5 pounds. I don't know. I didn't really check. But definitely quite a lot of cars. Like there are areas where I was like, God, like they've got little restaurant-y bits here and they shove motorcycles there. Like I feel like this could have been a people space, you know? Less bicycles in Vienna. Munich was way more bicycle friendly. Here's a bookstore I went to. I did go to a bookstore in every city. You'd have to roll me on that last leg of any trip. I actually found myself more fit, more flexible by the end of it. I feel like I felt amazing by the end of it. So yeah, apparently cannabis is something you can just buy on the street here in Vienna, and the store looks kind of nice too. More of the mopeds. So here's like a great example. They've got mopeds, they got bicycles, they got a restaurant, and then cars come up and down this little tiny stretch here. It's wild. Another bookstore. And now we're getting into the heart of Vienna, like the downtown, if you will, the touristy area. I can feel my ankles, my lower back aching. I mean, the cobblestone, when you're wearing running shoes, cobblestone should not be a problem. If you're wearing high heels, I can appreciate maybe that being an issue. But running shoes, you should be fine. Did you see my shoes? They were perfect for cobblestone. So this is I guess the heart of this tourist area, and look at all the people. I didn't actually get inside of it, but it's some massive church. Like this thing is like 1, 2, 3, I don't know, 6 stories high. I didn't get a chance to go inside of it. Just gorgeous. And look at the people. It was so packed of people. And this was the Christmas store. I went in here and this is actually, I think this, I don't know if I got a picture of it though. Oh, I did not. This was the store they were wearing t-shirts that said, no kangaroos in Austria. But I didn't actually take a picture of that, unfortunately. But yeah, we had a good old Christmas setup here. So this is right in the heart of tourist central here. I actually bought a toque here. I got a red Vienna toque from this place and a few other bits and bobs. I don't know if they were starting Christmas or if this was permanent, to be honest with you, Black Omen. I have no idea. And then, yeah, this is just another view of that same church. I really wish I had time to get in there. And this has kind of been the story of my whole trip was I wanted to experience 3 cities, okay? I wanted to, like, have equivalency between them. Like, go to a museum, go to a musical show, go on the trains and the subways. But I still didn't have enough time to do everything I wanted to do, So yeah, this building was incredible. And this is just more area. This was all walking area. This was nice. So there was no cars here, obviously. But yeah, this was like in the heat of it. Like it was absolutely packed with people. Look at it. Ridiculous. Crazy. And just these, again with the lamps in the middle, held on by these wires here. And we're coming out of that area to another museum. I can't remember which museum this was. So Vienna, okay, let me say this real quick. Vienna, the entire city, felt like a museum to me. And then not only that, is like they actually have like, I don't know, 10 or 20 museums in Vienna proper. There's a museum everywhere. I don't remember which one this was, but it was something. I can't even remember. Yeah, I went to the music museum. You got that right. So they had like kind of like these kind of weird little touristy cars. There was one I saw where they were eating a meal on the back in Vienna. And then they had like horse-drawn carriages as well. Which is kind of cool. I didn't see this in Munich. So definitely just, I don't know, culture everywhere. Another horse-drawn carriage. And the big bus again. So I was going to be getting on that big bus. You can see in the front here, like when you get on it, you plug in and you can listen in whatever language is your language. And they have it like for like 15 languages or whatever. You saw some cow poop, did you? I thought this was a cool statue. Another cool building. And then here's some dude who's got pigeon poop all over him. So this park here, I walked through it. It's another park, I guess. This one does not allow dogs, unfortunately. And this was a museum. I don't remember which one this was, to be honest. But there was a ton of people just laying around on the grass and having a good time. It's on here. Oh, it's Sunter Garden, I guess. Sunter? That's the name of it right there. A lot of statues from Greek mythology. Yeah, actually, that's interesting, Kat. Because the city hall was designed based on Greek mythology as well. And what I read is Vienna is very democratic, I guess, in their heart. And they mimic a lot of their public buildings based off of Greek, because Greek is the birthplace of democracy. So yeah, a lot of Greek culture here. So yeah, another palace of some sort. And I can't quite read that. Not sure what language that is, but Latin maybe. So outside of the gate here, there was actually some food stalls, and I went and had a bratwurst at a like a little food outdoor food market kind of thing. Not market, but a food stall. This is another musician. I forget which one this one is, but I like the treble clef made out of flowers here. That was kind of neat. Okay, let's change the music here quick. So yeah, lots of Austrian flags here and there. I like how they make the treble clef out of the flowers. Yeah, exactly. It was really neat. Really neat. I kind of like this picture because it kind of has the horse-drawn carriage, and then it has like this very ornate fence, and then like the buildings in the background. Very nice. Yeah, it's very cool. So now we're at the museum. Okay, so this is the Natural History Museum, and I spent 3 hours in this museum. Maybe it's 2.5 hours. So I probably have 100 photos just in the museum. Just 3 hours. Yeah, just 3 hours. So I don't even know how to talk through this stuff. It was basically starting from like elements to meteorites to prehistoric creatures to dinosaurs to sharks to bears to birds and lizards and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. And I'd never actually been in a museum like this before, so I kind of went a little academically crazy with what I kind of enjoyed here. But yeah, the building is gorgeous. Look at this building. Like, forget the actual stuff inside, even just the walls and the ceiling. Like, it made me speechless. I was Yeah, and taxidermy stuff too. Yeah, Paleolithic, sure. But this is, I watched that show on Netflix to prepare for this, to get a little more of the history of Earth and 240 million years ago and whatever. So yeah, so this is the museum, the Natural History Museum of Vienna. I did do a TikTok on this one. And this was a building across the street. I have no idea what this was, but it looked kind of the same, I guess. It was kind of pretty. A lot of people out there, of course. So Natural Museum of History, I think it was on the flags here. And there's a cool statue here. So yeah, so we're getting into the museum, and this is a bit better picture of that statue. So are we ready? Because, yeah, we're 1 hour into Vienna, and we gotta go through a museum next. 2 museums in Vienna. Did you have to sit halfway down? I did take a break. Yes, I did. A very quick break. Well, whatever quick is. They have the cafeteria kind of in the middle of it, right? But I mean, just the general... it's not like a museum that's like glass and industrial and like, you know, it's like this, however old this building is, on the inside and the outside, it just feels like a freaking museum, if that makes sense. So yeah, here we are. This is basically the rock area, or I guess the element area. And this is a typical room. So you've got your displays, and then you've got kind of the ceiling and the walls with art on the walls. Like, it's just like, I walk into this first room like, holy crap, this is a museum. Am I supposed to look at the stuff on the, in here, or the stuff on the ceiling? I like, even like the wood carpentry of, and the, like, it just was incredible. I mean, how many of these rocks do you really need to look at? But these are all like things on the planet Earth that have copper in them, or gold in them, or silver in them, or whatever, right? It was just like, wow. Yeah, so this, I went a little gaga over all this stuff. They all have like little nameplates here too. This is the carbon thing. They got semi-precious stuff. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I mean, I obviously didn't take a picture of everything, but just the stuff that, like, I just never really thought about it. I never thought, okay, this element, whatever this yellow element is, copper, gold, I can't even tell. It comes in 20 different things. Like, just never even dawned on me. Right? Like, you don't go digging for pure gold. It's going to be stuck in some rock, right? It's crazy. And then these giant rocks, too. Geology section, pretty much, yeah. Reading the plaques took up that much time. I didn't read all the plaques, I'll be honest with you. I definitely skipped the plaques a bit. But yeah, they basically had everything on this periodic table was in the museum. Everything. Or everything that has a solid form, I should say. But like, just like weird stuff. Like, where do you find this stuff? And they actually, each of these little placards had the name of it and then the country where it was found. So these little rocks all came from different countries. I found it super interesting. Extremely interesting. And I'm like, if I ever came across that, I wouldn't even think about it, but it could be worth a lot of money to a museum somewhere. So yeah, so I definitely spent some time in the rock section. But never mind, like, even the ceiling and the walls were very decorative, right? It was such a neat experience. Quartz, I really like the quartz section. So yeah, so we got rocks, and here's a nice picture, right? And like, there's like little windows to each room next to you, and like even the doorways were decorated, and it was a museum I've never experienced in my life. So, and the next section is the meteorite section. I think this is the copper piece here. But yeah, so the first section is all about rocks. This is salt, which is crazy. When you learn more, it makes you more curious. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So yeah, they're, you know, what can I say? as much as I enjoyed seeing the stuff, I actually enjoyed just the room itself. Now we're getting into some of the semi-precious stuff here, like topaz, and this thing looks really neat. And meteorites. So they had a whole area on meteorites. So yeah, more science. Chunks of meteorites. And now we're getting into fossils, okay? So this is like 300, 400 million years ago. All these different fossil creatures. Like this fella here, the trilobite, I think it's called. He's like an ancient prehistoric creature. And this dude here, who was like the precursor to the shark. Look at this guy. So yeah, I really had a hell of a time in here. I thoroughly enjoyed it all. Just everything about it just was like, wow. And now we're getting into the fish, I think, and the shells. And I don't even know what this guy is. Look at the chin on him. What the hell? Look at these jaws. And then we got dinosaurs. They didn't have a huge dinosaur section, which is fine. I mean, they were obviously had a more of a vertical slice, not a horizontal. No, they didn't go deep on dinosaurs. They kind of went wide on everything else. You know what I mean? I still, like, when I look at this, I'm like, is that real? Or are these fake? Dinosaurs, yay! Yeah, they had dinosaurs. My long-lost cousins. Is this your long-lost cousins? So yeah, they had a mixture of, you know, German and, well, I guess, is that German or Austrian? I don't know. And then English as well. Like, look at this creature. This thing looks fierce. And then they had the woolly mammoth. Little baby one too. And these, as far as I can tell, were life-size as well. And just little information things here and there. I don't know, it was just, there's so much to see. Now we're getting into like Homo sapiens, I guess, with like tools and vases and such. Got some good old bones. I did not pump the volcano thingy. I don't remember the volcano thingy. They were, look, yeah, well, that was the thing with dinosaurs, is there was feathered dinosaurs. Absolutely, there was feathered dinosaurs that were looked more like birds and less like reptiles. In museums, they use replicas of the bones. Real fossils were kept in the vaults. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, this was kind of like tools and such for, I guess, Homo sapiens or whatever. And this guy was, I really love this guy. He was like spearfishing. I don't know why he had his own giant space, but he just made me laugh. I love this guy. Yeah, our ancestor, exactly. And then this was just a skeleton of a monkey versus a skeleton of a human, right? Or a primate versus a man, yeah. And the population at the time, 8 billion people. Crazy. Now this thing here, this was like their premium, supreme, most important thing they had in the entire museum. And it was tiny. It was like a couple centimeters tall. It's a fertility goddess. Okay. What the hell was it called? It had a name. But yeah, you can see here it's 30,000 years old. You can see here at the bottom. Venus. Oh yeah, Venus. That's right. Yeah, Venus. So this little carved statue, that I guess is 30,000 years old. And it was like, had its own little area just for itself. So it's a little cutie, yeah, exactly, Venus. So, I guess it's its oldest artifact or something? I'm not exactly sure, but it was like in its own room, too. And this guy I love this guy. I don't know why, but he looks so cool. And then this is basically the map of the place. So I just did the first floor at this point. So it kind of shows you, I guess, evolution, if you will. Right? So we got kind of down in this area. And then I'm going to go upstairs to the next one, which is more about flora, plants, and animals. So we'll do that next. You walked until you were tired. At this point, I think I took a bit of a break. I just did the first floor. And this is like the staircase up. And holy crap. No spiders. No, but they had other bugs though. Yeah, this staircase to the second floor, it is gorgeous. And I just like, you know, I'm thinking to myself, like, because you go through and you're like, okay, another room of stuff, another room of stuff. Then you come out to the hallway and you see this in the middle. You're like, holy crap. This is incredible. So yeah, this was very lovely here. Staircase is up to the second floor. So now we're in like the plant and wildlife area. And I kind of skimmed through this quite a bit. I mean, there's so much to see. And this little buddy here, I couldn't get over this thing. Oh, look at this crab. Look at the length of this arm. It's crazy. So this is all like prehistoric stuff, right? Yummy taxidermy, exactly. And all these shells, mollusks and such. Like, look at all these shells. There's so many little tiny ones. Yeah, so there was a lot to see. We're getting into the bug area now. Bugs. Bees. And I don't know why I took a picture of this, but this was in the shark section. And there's some sharks. And this is something. Fish, maybe? Something with fish. The crab has legs for days. Oh yeah, sexy legs. Gibbs, that crab still exists. It lives in the deep of the sea. Let's have a look at that crab again. It's my favorite thing. Look at this. Look at this monster. Legs for days. And like it was like life size, right? So I'm guessing this was maybe 6 feet. Maybe 5 feet. I don't know. This was long. He's a long boy. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this it was just nice to see it all in one place, you know? And like this big fish here. And then we've got like the swordfish there. This thing here, from what I remember, its mouth never closes. It hadn't evolved a jaw yet. So this fish just runs around with a mouth open all day long and just sucks in whatever algae or whatever through its open mouth all day long. Now we're getting into the taxidermy. So there's hundreds of these things. Hundreds of these things. Yeah, this fish is definitely Kirby. Definitely. I don't think I have a picture of it face on. I should have, though. But yeah, his mouth is open all the time. So yeah, all the taxidermy in here. Like, just hundreds and hundreds of animals. We didn't actually have any spiders, though, that I remember. Hyenas and... yeah, crazy. Like freaking bears and lions. We got some seals in here and walruses. And they're all in these like glass containers, I guess, to keep the temperatures steady or whatever. There were walls to ceiling of spiders? I don't remember the spiders. Did I miss them? Are you serious? I must have missed the spiders. Huh. I don't remember the spiders. These are all shellfish here. Or whatever, shells, things. I guess I missed them. Oh well, I guess I gotta go back to find all the spiders. So yeah, a lot of animals. Like just life-sized animals that have been frozen forever in their condition. It's crazy. And they had this area here where they actually had the animal and the skeleton. The animal and then the skeleton right next to it. And this giant whale here too. I couldn't even get the friggin' whole thing in the picture. So huge. So yeah, like a giraffe and a skeleton, and the elephant and a skeleton. And this is the bird section. There's so many little birds. Wild. But I'm still admiring the ceiling when I'm in this space. I'm still like looking at like the carpentry of the different containers, and then the ceiling and the walls. Lots and lots of birds. Good old peacock. I don't remember going through a spider section, Pink. I don't recollect spiders at all. I must have missed it. Or maybe it was closed. I don't know. I don't remember any spiders. Look, it's a Canada goose. So yeah, so we're in the bird section, and then we're back out to the exit. What do you mean duck? Is that a duck? Is that a duck? I don't think that's a duck. That's a goose. Now you got me all confused. Ducks are much smaller. They usually have green heads. What do you mean a duck? Goose and the duck is the same? No, no, no. A goose is bigger. This is a goose. Okay, this is a goose. This is a duck. The duck is smaller. This is a swan, right? Oh, I'm not an expert. What do I know? So yeah, so that was basically it. The last part, it was all a blur. It was just so much animals and such, but the building itself is absolutely gorgeous. And I thoroughly enjoyed my time in the museum. And at this point, it's time for me to go to a concert. So I left this area, I got on the bus, and I went back to my hotel. I got changed, and then I went on the subway, and then I went to the concert hall. So this was a slightly larger group of folks, and it actually had a balcony area up top, so definitely larger than the Venice area. And yeah, just a lot more musicians and a lot more seating, and it's a bit bigger venue. And here's all the folks. They were all dressed up, of course, looking lovely. You can see the people up top here in the balcony area looking down. And this is a kind of a shot that kind of shows the people up on the top. Very, very lovely building. Why are you lying? You took a nap? I might have. I'm not lying. I'm just not filling in all the gaps, you know? Got to keep the allure, the fantasy alive. Got to watch out for the swans. They attack people. So this is the all of the folks on stage, and they were singers too. But this concert was good. I think I enjoyed the Venice one better, from like a more intimate experience, and the Munich was just better from overall sound. You know, with the choir and the full orchestra. This one was cool in like its setting. It was a very neat setting. You didn't go back to change and go to concert? What do you mean? Why am I change like twice a day. Like I change for dinner every night. I didn't wear like the same clothes from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I changed. But yeah, so definitely more sound here because he had more instruments, I guess. A lot more violins. This is the conductor, the gentleman in the middle. He had this cool thing where he made you clap. And he would like clap, and then the audience would clap. So it was a little more audience participation. But then he would like pretend to clap, and the audience would clap, and he'd be like, oh, and then, you know, he was kind of like tricking you. You napped, and then you changed. Damn it, how do you know that? You You don't know what happened. But yeah, he was very much involving the audience, and I mean, it was good. It was different. But at this point, it's the end of the show, so we're giving him the applause for the end of the show. I know everything. And then this is a picture with the two singers. So this gentleman here and this lovely lady, they were brought on to sing at different stages. Their voices were incredible. But yeah, so that was, this is the outside of the picture, or outside of the music hall. It's very lovely. And I'm taking the subway back. Which way am I going here? I guess the red way. So yeah, taking the subway back. When I was there and I got off the subway, I was like, oh, look, there's a Venice restaurant in Vienna. And I'm like, should I go to the Venice restaurant in Vienna? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So, this is the next morning, and I'm like, oh, I got to go check out the rooftop patio. It was freaking locked. The entire time I was there in Vienna, the rooftop patio was never open. Like, I couldn't even go walk out here. The door was locked. I was a little pissed. So yeah, so I never got to actually explore the rooftop patio. But the next morning I went out for breakfast, and a lot of cars you can kind of see here, which just, I don't know, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but bike lane and a bunch of cars, it's crazy. And this is what I had for breakfast. Kind of a bad picture actually, but it was like a little sample, a little cup of water, a little cup of OJ, and a little cappuccino, like very tiny. But this thing was delicious. This little sandwich here was still fantastic. I had goulash on the last day, actually. Big Paper had the goulash on the last day. This was a bus tour day. This is one with a full roof. And this little unit here, this is what you plug your headphones in, and then you dial in the language you want, and you listen to whatever's going on. So now I'm on the bus. So these are all going to be bus pictures, I guess. So you're going to kind of see wires and bus parts and all kind of cool stuff. Ooh, oh yeah, I think I got off the bus at this point. And I was checking out this Soviet era statue here, monument. For a moment I thought that you only drink the breakfast. Yeah, no. So yeah, got off the bus to check this little area out here. It was nice. It was cool. Just a lot of tram lines and just wires and old buildings. So this is, oh yeah, this is where I'm going to the music museum. So this is the music museum. So what's different about this space is it's extremely modern. Like with like VR and AR and a theater, and like it was super cool. Having spent the previous day at the Natural History Museum where everything was like, 10 million years old or whatever, it was neat to come here and have a completely different experience. So yeah, this is the music museum, and this is a view down the stretch here. And I kind of liked how you see all these lights. They're all lined up, and then there's like a statue right at the end. And this whole street is perfectly lined up with that statue here. It was wild. So yeah, this is the little theater inside the music museum. And this is just peeking out the door of that little area there. And then this is just me getting into it. So they were obviously celebrating classical music for the most part. So they had like all different batons of different famous conductors. They had the four of the famous Viennese folks like Bruckner and Brahms and Schmidt and Strauss. So these are like the famous Viennese ones. So they were kind of had their own little area. And I forget which dude this was. Schmidt maybe, I think. But kind of freaked me out. I walked in the room. This guy was there. I was like, whoa. But he was like a wax museum kind of dude. So I guess they like mimicked his area or something to make him like have his own space or something. So, and this is where it gets into the high-tech stuff. So there's like three folks here, and I can't remember how many were, but they were basically creating music with their hands or something. It's kind of crazy. And this was the end result of that. I kind of walked around them and got their final result. This was the staircase up through the middle, which I thought was kind of neat. We'll see this again real soon, but there is a kind of cool staircase up. There was a lot of like science in here, like harmonic and symmetry and like physics and all sorts of cool stuff with the... So it wasn't just like a bunch of like conductors from the 18th century. Like there was a whole like science and to it all. It was kind of neat. And you could like interact with each of these screens and like do different things with sound. It was cool. I didn't see the never-ending sound. I don't remember that one. There was a room that you step on these little circles and you hear the sound above it. So you step on one circle and it was birds. You step on another circle and it was like car traffic. And another one was like, I don't know, singing or whatever. So it was neat. There's a lot of different kind of more of a modern feel to this place. The giant drum in here, which I thought was kind of neat. There was also the I didn't get a good picture of it, but there was like 4 different sort of instrument groupings. So this was like the xylophone, and there was one for like string instruments, one for brass instruments. And then if you clicked on the screen, it would play that instrument. It's kind of neat. This was an interactive area where you actually waved your hand around and you could grab the tuba and put it in the center stage, or grab the violin. So more for the kiddies, but it was kind of neat. That's the one, the perception of sound. I didn't listen to anything, but yeah. So it's definitely a mixture of science and music, which in my mind is the perfect mix, because I don't think music exists without the science behind it. Yeah. Now this area here, oh my god. So this area here, I walk into this room and I'm like, why are there people laying on these bean bags? I was kind of surprised. I was like, what the hell are they doing laying on these bean bags? And they're staring at the ceiling. And it was like a sensory room or something. And so you lay in the beanbag and you stare up and you hear the music kind of, the sounds come out of this disc here. And you kind of hear the sounds while seeing the visual. It was surreal. So this is me laying on the beanbag looking up, and this is what I see. It's just weird floaty stuff. It's weird. But yeah, you can see people down here like laying on the beanbags. Did you share a beanbag? I did? What do you mean? Share a beanbag? What does that mean? You lay down next to somebody on a beanbag? It was fairly empty. I didn't need to share. Very abstract, I agree. But it was just surreal, like, and kind of comfy, I'll be honest. I sat there for a good 5-10 minutes. You lay down next to a random person. Hey, that's how we make friends. Laying down to random people, like, I mean, that's how the world goes around. It was very cozy. Like, I could have, I think I took a short video. I don't know if I shared it, but it just with the sound and the visuals and just laying and like, it was actually quite comfy. Yeah, no, they're definitely full. It was definitely comfy. And then going up to the next floor. Now we're getting into like a different area for each of the main Viennese artists here. So each of the famous artists had their own little area. So yeah, this is kind of neat. You know what I really liked is the carpet. The carpet was like incredibly specific and designed specific to each room. It was very neat. Somebody, I can't remember who this was, they invented the quartet, the string quartet. So that was kind of hanging there. Yeah, so here's a good example, right? So here's the carpet has like this black silhouette. It was just such a neat way to do it. Right? So they, like, all these carpets were custom built for this space. Like this is actually a carpet. It's got a black silhouette down here. So Mozart was one of them. So you can see his career started in 1756 down to 1791. And yep. Then we have Beethoven, so 1769 to 1827. Vienna, obviously, as was mentioned earlier, was very much the birthplace of a lot of classical music. So there's different historical places you can visit just for the music of it all. And this is Beethoven's symphonies here, I think numbered 1 through 68, I think. It's pretty neat. Erotica, I think that's for Napoleon, he did that one. Frank Schubert. Again, they're all like overlapping, right? You can see all the years they were active, very much all happening at the same time. So this is kind of more the museum part of the whole thing, but it's cool. It just, the way they designed it was not boring at all. Like everything was just interesting to look at. Like, I don't know why there were fake trees in here, but they had fake trees in here. I took a picture of this because this was like calculus. And I forget who did this, but Mahler, I think. But they basically, this was their homework. And I was like, they actually took his calculus homework and hung it in the museum. Yeah, it was this guy, Gustav Mahler. It was well spaced, not cluttered. Yeah, I thought it was a very nice experience. Here's another good map that shows all the kind of historical music buildings, if you will, all around Vienna. And the virtual conductor, I didn't get to do this because it was like lined up for it, but basically you wave your hands around and obviously it's kind of hard to see in the picture, but so this is the output here. You wave your hand around and the different parts of the orchestra will go high, go low, go slow, go fast, just by like waving your hand. You lined up for it? I mean, I watched it. I didn't line up for it, but I was like, damn, that's such a neat thing. But yeah, you basically are the conductor and the band here will react to you waving your arm around, I guess. It's kind of neat. And this is the, like that's a huge Philharmonic orchestra. Look how big that is. And then this was the end of it. This was Rest Your Ears. So they had this like little room here that was like soundproof. And because at this point you've been inundated with a bunch of sound all over the place, right? And now this was absolute quiet. And this is the staircase. So this was piano staircase. It was very busy. I happened to get this pick when it wasn't, but adults, children, grown-ups running up and down the stair making music. Yeah, the piano staircase, exactly. And this was essentially the floors that I was on. It was very fun. You loved it? Cool, cool. And the inside of the building, very nice, very modern. And the outside of the building. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was very much a modern museum, if you will. And a mixture of the science and the history of it. It was neat. And now we're back to exploring the outside. And I think I'm on the bus at this point, heading back to the hotel for a nap, apparently. So yeah, so I'm basically on the bus at this point. And I just thought it was interesting how like they would have these old buildings and then a subway down underground. It was crazy. I liked it. It was neat. The museum quarter. So from what I remember, this was all like a stables for like the royalty. And then when the royalty collapsed, they just turned it into a freaking museum. It's kind of neat. And this is the city hall from what I remember. Speaking of you know, the architecture they used here. So yeah, this was City Hall. It's crazy. No nappies for you. But yeah, Vienna was stellar. And we're not even done yet. Oh, looks like you see my knee here. But this is basically how this bus works. You plug it in, you dial in the language you want, and you listen to it. It's kind of neat. And as you approach each sort of site, it gives you a little blurb on it. Now the problem with this particular bus is that the roof is solid, so when you see a cool picture like this, you kind of can't take it because it goes through like this dirty glass, you know? Now, Vienna at the time, like they had this weird pipeline everywhere in the city, or in this section of the city, and it went on for miles or kilometers. And I don't know if what's in it, water or what the hell was in it, but it just snaked all the way through everywhere. Yeah, the skies were kind of gloomy at this point. That is true. And this is more, this is what happens when you're taking pictures on a bus, right? You get wires and slanted angles and all that kind of good stuff. And here's that pipeline still continuing. And now I'm heading across the Danube, which is the major river through Vienna. And I'm going to a park. So yeah, the Danube is pretty wide. It actually has 3 sections to it. There's like a river and an island and a river. So yeah, working my way over to this section. There was the amusement park that I never went to, but yeah, they have this cool amusement park as well. Tourist photos, the tourist pics, yeah, I mean, obviously they're not like professional pics, right? So they had this amusement park kind of in the outskirts of the city, which I thought was kind of neat. And I'm heading across to the, I guess, a different part. It's like a park over here. Danube Park, I think is what it's called. This is a riverboat that's actually on the Danube, and you can see the reflection of the bus I'm on. So yeah, there was quite long boats here that I guess go up and down the Danube. And that's the Danube there. And there's cool reflections here of the city. So there's actually a modern section as well. So you have like the old section with the tourism and the old churches and the buildings and the museums. And then you have like this metropolis over here, which I never actually got to explore, of like massive tall buildings. So yeah, a lot to see here. And look, there is the Olympic Park Tower coming back to haunt us. So yeah, there was a lot to see at this point that I did not get a chance to see up in front and personal. I only saw it kind of through the bus, so to speak. So here's the Danube. So here's the edge, here's the river, and then there's like an island in the middle, and then the other part of the river. And from what I understand, they installed this to help with flooding or something. I'm not exactly sure. So oh yeah, the Danube Park. So this is where I wanted to go. Now, what I found interesting about this park is it's not for tourists. It's actually for the locals. So all the people that live kind of outside the touristy core, they're hanging out at this park. And this park here, like it had the tower here, but like it just had like tennis courts, and it had like skateboarding, and it had like just a bunch of different cool stuff. Had a nice little pond here. But you didn't see tourists, you just saw the locals running around it. It's kind of neat. Yeah, definitely touristy free, definitely. Because I'm way out of the tourist center. I'm probably a good hour from my hotel. The river cruises I never got a chance to do. But this park was just gorgeous and massive. And there was a skate park here. This is, I guess, the only picture I took. And this solar pedal thing was kind of weird. And these tiny little tracks here too. But yeah, the park was just a city park that was just massive and pleasant and just a joy. A very large piece of land that they've set aside for this. And this is one of my favorite pictures of this place here, with the reflection and the tower here. Very nice. So Munich had a tower, Vienna had a tower. Both cities had a tower just like this. And this is where I found some swans. Some baby swans. There's also some fishies. So yeah, we had some all sorts of animals in here. Very cute, exactly. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 babies, and then the mama, and then there's a couple fish in here too. And then this is a nice showing of kind of the park, and then like the commercial center behind, right? It's kind of neat. Another picture of that too. And they have this like mosaic. Like you can see these are all little bits of colored ceramic, I guess. And this was the same thing. It was all built that way. I thought that was kind of neat. More view of the park and the city metropolis behind. And we're getting close to this weird... I mean, weird not in the sense of what it is, but weird and where it is. Very clean, absolutely. So they have this like weird robot animals, okay? I don't know how they work. I'm not sure who was like running the show here, but these kids were riding these things, and you can see barely at their feet, they're like wheels, and they like kind of just, I don't know what the umbrella's for, but they would basically ride these animals around this little section of paved area. I wanted to try it, but I'm like, I'm not sure if they're adult friendly or not, but like, I want to ride a panda bear. Who doesn't want to ride a panda bear? To protect the kid from skin cancer, I guess, but... So yeah, that was kind of neat. And then they had this like kind of Asian pavilion out in the middle of the park, or I guess it was more on the edge of the park. It felt a little out of place, but it was gorgeous. It was, I don't think it was at the peak of its maintenance. It definitely looked a little tired, I guess. But it looked like just the architecture of the buildings looks fabulous. I want to ride the panda too, right? Exactly. So like, you know, like it wasn't necessarily, you know, tidy because there was like just some random stuff here, but basically the buildings look like they were in excellent condition. But like you can see here, some of like the garden area looked like it could use a bit of a housekeeping, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, from what I understand, this was a Korean cultural center that has been turned into a Asian restaurant, is the word they use for it. So, I don't know. So yeah, this was kind of the end of my day and the end of my adventures in Vienna. And we got on the subway. The subway here picks me up and drops me back, because we were, you know, I was at the other end of the city, right? And then I had to get all the way back to where the hotel was. So this was like a perfect subway line that dragged me all the way back. And this is basically inside the subway. And this is back at the main train station. And this is my final afternoon, evening in Vienna. And this train station was absolutely gorgeous. And I had lots of great fun on the big bus tours. And this was my final meal. The Radler was fantastic. And again, this is beer plus lemonade. So good. And here's the goulash. I gobbled that all up. This restaurant was actually like 2 minutes from the hotel too. And this is the hallway of the hotel. Whatever. And then this was at the bar. I actually had a $6, €6 beer Radler actually at the bar. I think I was editing TikToks at this point. I mean, it was quirky, but it was just like even the tables felt cheap and the chairs felt cheap. Like it had this like vibe of surface level, we care, but don't look too deep because we really didn't spend $1 on any of this stuff. It was just weird. It was just like, it felt very superficial, I think, this whole hotel experience. Thank God you ate something. But yeah, so this was my final moment in Vienna. The next morning I got up and I made my way to the airport. I had to get on a train to get me to the airport, and this is actually at the airport. This food was freaking insane. There was the Sacher cake that I actually never ate, but this was a food vendor at the Vienna airport. The Vienna airport was about 50 minutes outside of 50 minutes away from the train station. And then they had all sorts of tasty treats here. So good. Next time, just go to the Holiday Inn. Yeah, no kidding. And that's it. That was my Vienna. I think overall, I think that each city had something to offer. I think every one of them is a spectacular place to enjoy something. I think there was definitely a lot more in common with Munich and Vienna for obvious reasons. Venice obviously stands out from the three. But Munich just, I'm not sure what it is. It just had a certain vibe that everything was condensed in a small area, and you really felt like you were part of the neighborhood. Where Vienna was a little more spread out. But Vienna, like the whole city felt like a museum. It was kind of crazy. What did you think about Europe so far compared to home? I mean, I think that overall, the parts of Europe that I've seen, right? The history, the facades of the buildings, I don't know, like the physicality of it all, like the bicycling, the healthiness of it all. It feels very different than North America. I mean, Canada and US are different, but we share a lot too, right? So it's a little more sugar and spice, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's just different. Canada and US have got hundreds of years of existence, where like when you go to like these parts of Europe and it's like 500 or 1,000 years of existence, right? In a few words, how would you describe each place? Yeah, so I think Munich for me was Bavarian. It felt very German. It felt like the area I was staying in was very much a snapshot in history. With the churches and the market and the just the general vibe of the area. Venice, it was an island, an oasis. It was a resort. No cars, no bikes. It was overwhelming with everything to look at. Vienna felt a little more whole. I think Munich was like a snapshot, a small snapshot, where Vienna was a much bigger picture of the history. And I just didn't have enough time to explore Vienna to see truly everything, but Vienna definitely has a lot more going on for it than Munich. The music, the museums, like Vienna it's very rich. So yeah, I mean, I think overall, would I visit any of these cities again? Absolutely. My first choice would be Venice, though. So yeah, that is the story. That is how you spend 9 nights or 10 days in Munich, in Venice, and in Vienna. And I wish I could have spent more time in each city, to be honest. I wish I could have, but I just didn't. There's a lot more to learn in Vienna. In Venice, you need to eat more. I had cuttlefish and I had penne. I mean, what more is there to eat? Yes, I really appreciate everyone who has joined us through this 5.5 hour extravaganza. I definitely wasn't sure how long this would take, but I appreciate everyone for hanging out with me. Now I get to share it with my mother because she's been asking me for this for, well, since I got back. So you guys were my test run, my alpha, and now I get to go and walk my mother through all this stuff and explain to her all my shenanigans. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and participating in this sharing and caring adventure. Munich, Venice, and Vienna. Crazy.